Greetings, welcome to the Week 4 Postgame blog. This week, the Vikings defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 34-27. The previously winless Vikings were playing the previously winless Steelers in London's Wembley Arena. It was finally an entertaining game for Vikings fans to watch. With quarterback Christian Ponder hurt, backup Matt Castle filled in quite nicely. Castle was 16 for 25 with 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 123 quarterback rating. Most importantly, he never turned the ball over. There was no interceptions thrown, and there was no fumbles. The improved passing attack opened up running lanes for Adrian Peterson. He had 23 rushes for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Naturally, the increased passing attack also boded well for the receivers. Jennings had 3 receptions, 2 of which were for touchdowns, and 1 of which was a 70-yard long breakaway run. And Simpson was Castle's favorite target with 7 receptions for 124 yards, 51 yards being his longest. The Vikings offense looked completely new this week. With Castle confidently leading the huddle and making the throws he needed to, they moved the ball much more at ease up and down the field. The defense, however, was completely porous as it's been every week of the year. They allowed 434 yards, and they almost gave up another game-winning drive. Luckily for the Vikings, the pass rush was improved. Defensive end Jared Allen recorded 2.5 sacks. Linebacker Chad Greenway recorded 1. Everson Griffin had a sack. And Sharif Floyd was credited with a half a sack, coming on a forced fumble at a pivotal point of the game. So needless to say, they were giving up the yards, but they made the big play at the end to force a fumble on Roethlisberger on a sack by Sharif Floyd that kept the Vikings with control of the game. If the Vikings hope to have any chance at winning more games, the defense has to get shored up. They've been relying on big plays and giving up yardage at will to offensive teams. Also, if the Vikings have any chance of winning more games this season, it's really apparent that Matt Castle is the best quarterback on the team. And although Frazier has a vested interest in Ponder, him and Spielman, general manager Rick Spielman, drafted Ponder in the first round a couple years ago. And by putting Castle in, they're really giving up on Ponder and admitting that they shouldn't have drafted him that high. And I'm not sure Frazier is ready to make that decision yet. After the game, he said Ponder remains the starter, but he has things to look at as the Vikings head into their bye week. If Ponder is the starter when the Vikings come back, he's certainly going to have a lot of trouble within even his own locker room. After the game, Adrian Peterson was asked who he thinks he should be the quarterback, and Peterson simply replied, "What do you think?" So Castle clearly has been the better quarterback. Ponder's thrown only 2 touchdowns the entire year and recorded a quarterback rating of 65.9. He also fumbled twice and threw 5 interceptions. So in one game, Castle has twice as a high quarterback rating and threw 2 touchdowns, as much as Ponder's thrown the whole year. Quarterback rating, while no means is the end-all be-all, it's usually a pretty good indicator of how well the quarterback has played in any given game. The highest quarterback rating Ponder has recorded was in the 70s. Castle was at 123. So that says all you need to say. Castle didn't turn the ball over, and he took the game up and down the field. Ponder has been unable to do that. Going forward, it's certainly the Vikings are now 1-3 instead of 0-4. So it was a big win, but the Vikings to suddenly say, oh, they played one great game with Castle against arguably the worst team in the league, would kind of be drinking the purple Kool-Aid. So needless to say, it was a good win, and Castle certainly looks to be the better quarterback moving forward, and we'll see if Frazier makes the same decision.